Welcome back, everybody. I'm here with Luke and JP. We are part of the Star Wars CCG Graded group, and this is the update for May of 2025. And of course, May is a big month, right? May the 4th and Return of the 5th, right? For some of those who celebrate them. Speaking of, for those who got to see Return of the Sith in theaters, that was back for the 20th anniversary. That was kind of cool. I know Cam had mentioned he got to see it and it aged like a fine wine, according to him. So we'll have to take him at his word. Fortunately, I was stuck with the kids, but I hope some of you out there got to see that.
Yeah, he even said that there was like a lot of attendance to it too. So that was pretty impressive.
I would have loved to have gone in my Imperial outfit, but c'est la vie. Okay, so we have a lot to cover and limited time here. So we're going to go through our contest for April. Upcoming 3 months of categories. We're going to talk a little bit about some May 4th stuff, group updates, show updates, and then we have some sale data with Luke. So let's get right into it. I'm going to kick things off here with Lowball, and then I'm going to pass things to JP for Unique. Lowball, we had 3 people entering in it. JP and Luke both entered in this, but Paul Hubbard out of the woodwork coming with his super low stuff. PSA 6 Japanese infantry mine from the Japanese Hoth set, and then a PSA 5 Teden Dahai, I don't know, part of that Figure Dan band sort of thing, part of the Jedi pack. So yeah, that was definitely the lowest. Congrats, Paul Hubbard. And we have a Premier Japanese Detention Block Control Room in PSA 6 to complement your lowball set. So congrats on that. JP, Unique.
Yes. This was quite a stiff competition this month. And Unique was, of course, one of the most favorite categories of everybody this month. I do want to give a shout out to Cole Duncan, first of all. I'm having the oversized submission. You don't see a lot of those, and I don't ever think I've ever seen a Dash Rendar foil graded either. So good submission to Cole. We pretty much gave him a second place, close to first. But really, if you haven't been out to take a look at those competitions, the competition submissions, Cam is the winner this month. He introduced to us the autographed graded cards. And let me tell you, if you want to talk about one of ones, this Ewok Spearman, which is a female actor on there.
Sarah Bennett.
Sarah Bennett. That's got to be a one of one. I don't know.
It's got to be. It's got to be.
It's totally got to be super rare, super unique. And also he had an autograph of the Talon Cardi. Is that how it's pronounced? Cardi?
Well, yeah. I thought it was a Timothy Zahn auto on PSA 8.
Was that's the person, right? That's the actor. And it's a PSA 8.
Yes, so. That's the actor. Yeah, I just put the.
It's really the writer. He's the author of the book, and then
But he showed up in that picture.
Yes, that's right. I'm going to jump here too and just remind people that now we're tracking autographed slabbed cards for Star Wars CCG on the same tracker too. So if you're interested in that, of like data on around really random autographed stuff, take a look at the sheet.
How are you? What was the thought process behind categorizing that? Given that, let's say you have like a C3PO, like Anthony Daniels, he could sign his own card. He could sign in Japanese. He could sign, Eyes in the Dark for all you know. Like he could sign.
I filtered it by the actor who signed it, right? So like it's Anthony Daniels' variety of possible cards because people are looking for the signer. They don't care so much about the card. And these just were naturally coming up in my searches anyways, like Star Wars CCG BGS, Star Wars CCG PSA, and it just happens to be a DNA auto that's not a PSA grade. So I was like, well, I'm finding this stuff already. I might as well have someplace to track this. So yeah, it's there.
Fair enough.
Awesome.
Good
Cool.
stuff.
So the winner, Cam, he's going to receive a Home 1 docking bay, PSA 9 from Death Star 2. So congratulations, Cam. That was a fantastic, unique, and I think he threw in another one in there too, just for I think he said honorable mention. So
Yeah,
he's
he had
got
an
some
Anthony
really good cards.
Daniels signed
Oh, that's right.
card.
The foil. Yep.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool.
So back
Nice,
to you
nice
for top
flex
pair.
there. Nice flex.
Yeah.
All right, top pair. Woo! This gave us a run for the money. I'll kick it off with number 3, Robert John, third place with a PSA 10 Queen Amidala ruler of Naboo and a PSA 9 Queen Amidala ruler AI. So very close for these top spots. Second place, I'll hand it to you, JP.
Second place was Michael Lockwood. He had a BGS 9.5 Queen Amidala, which was the AI version, I believe, of course, and a BGS 9.5 3PO with his part showing. That was Foils Reflections 3 as well. Super great showing. And when we get to the point where we're having to compare the PSA 10s to BGS 9.5s, we have to look at the subgrades and trying to figure out, can it get any better? That's for top pair. We're always looking, is there room for improvement? So just slightly, I think there was a 9 subgrade in 1 or 2.
There were 3 9.5s and 1 9 on both of them.
That's how close it is. That's how we before this stream starts, we sit and we hash this out for quite a long time. We really put a lot of thought into this, and if there's room for improvement, fantastic. We still want you to showcase all your great cards, and that was a good showing. But who got number 1?
Number 1, drum roll, Will Tarbox. PSA 10s of both a Y-Wing Japanese, which I don't have, and I kind of want it, Will. And a PSA 10 Super Laser. So super cool submissions there by Will. And again, they can't be improved. So great submissions there, but just barely edging out. Other great submissions this month. I'm really happy with the turnout. It really made for some rich discussion and lots of great showcased pairings out there. So good job to everybody out there. Will be walking away with the PSA 9 Death Star 2 capacitors card. So congrats on that. Upcoming months, we're going to do June will be promo cards. So these could be from the Jedi packs, the enhanced packs, like the Asteroid Sanctuary, right? Like all those sort of promo cards. July will be Andor or Andor related. So it could be like an Andor-ish scene on a card or Andor character or something, even if it's not part of the Andor set, or it could be an effect or interrupt or something like that, as long as it's Andor related. So that'll be for July. And then August will be ladies or female cards, right? So this could be aliens, could be princesses, maybe droids, I don't know, but female related. That'll take us out for the next few months. Let's start off after this with our group update, and then we'll hear about the show stuff. JP, I know you have a little bit to unpack there, so share with us.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Won't take too much time. But we're up to 941 members. That's up 16 to 20 new members. I just know that as we're moving into May, and it's really getting into a Star Wars month and all the new things that's being on television and stuff. So people are really getting excited as the summer's coming along. So we're up on membership. We're still cruising along to get to 1,000. And when we hit 1,000, we are going to do something special. So keep an eye out. I personally will be in a card show May 16th through 18th. It's the KC Royalty gas card show. There's going to be 450 vendor tables. So If you're in the area, it's going to be humongous. It's at the Sheridan at Crown Center in Kansas City. And we got 3 really good tables in a really good spot, and I'm going to be showcasing 70-80% Star Wars CCG graded stuff. So come find me. Again, this is what I look like. You can't miss me.
What are you gonna be wearing?
Yeah. Oh man, that's another thing. They just can't. I had a whole bunch of shirts made with all the Star Wars posters of. See, I told you it was dangerous here, and Hoth. And on the back of these 2 or 3 shirts, I had some of my very own graded cards that I was going to wear around at the show for 3 days. They canceled the order and sent me a policy issue that they can't do Star Wars related stuff. And I'm like, I had that thing ordered 2 months ago, and they're just like, oh, hey, we just decided we're going to cancel it. So shoot, I've got other cool shirts I'm going to wear, but I really wanted to showcase a lot of the Star Wars CCG stuff. So come find me, look for the face. Don't look for the shirts. That's May 16th through the 18th in Kansas City. Again, we had another safe month. There were no scammers. We're running on a 2 or 3 month streak now. Nobody's tried to come in and tried to, sell us some scams. Everybody's been doing a really good job of coining your images. And, I'm going to let Luke talk about the sales. They've been going so much. It's been crazy the last month or two. The specials for the month for grading as far as PSA, you'd think May was a great time to do Star Wars grading, but there are no specials. They must be way behind on getting their submissions wrapped up and back out to people. And that's why we're seeing the prices are going up. So take a look at some of the other grading services if you really feel like you got to get your cards graded soon and at a fair price. So really,
super
that's all I have
from PSA standpoint, frankly. But yeah, definitely opens the doors for elsewhere, and that's definitely been what I've been trying to evaluate. Like, which ones do I really want to keep in PSA, and which ones could be any of them slab. So I don't know what their deal is. I don't know if people have just all of a sudden frenzied for PSA. I haven't gotten that impression, but maybe I'm missing something. But at $18.99 minimum for bulk, I mean, that's wild, because after the shipping and taxes and other stuff, like, it ends up being like $23, $24 a card. Like, let's be honest, and like for most of the cards, like, you're never going to get that kind of return back if you're trying to complete sets. Like, for those who want to submit like 100 cards, like 80 cards, like, I want to do a large order, like that's a lot. Like, that adds up, because frankly, a lot of the stuff that comes back is at a loss. So there's like a few things that come back a win, but most of the stuff comes back as a loss, at least in my experience.
Agreed.
What's that saying with like starting your own like airline? Like, oh, you need $1 billion so you can make a few $1 million. It's like something like that.
Right.
It's like, you're just gonna. But anyways, neither here nor there. Continue, JP. Sorry.
No. Then that's really the end of the updates. We're going to have definitely more updates at the end of this month. May is going to be super good and super crazy. So, and I'm going to document my time at the show. So I'm going to have videos and pictures, and you guys will see how it's set up. So I'll kind of tell you how it goes and the interactions with people. And I'm actually starting. I finally got into Springfield in June. There's one that's like the biggest show in Springfield all the time. It's like kind of monthly, and I have been trying to become a vendor table for ages, and I finally got in. I'm going to be a perpetual one, and I'll continually have shows and be updating you guys on what the reception is from all the people when they come to the table. So that's going to be big. Yep. And then after the show, I'm going to get back to grade. I haven't done any grading. I was focusing on getting the show ready, getting the tables ready, packing everything up. So, I'm probably going to get back to doing a lot more grading, and I'm really going to check out CGC. I think that's going to be my next huge lot. So
excellent. So other things going on, because we're in May now. We have like May the 4th creeping up, and we've had some other exciting things recently with Return of the Sith 20th anniversary that wasn't long ago. And we are currently in the throes of Andor, which has been fantastic. You can check out Luke and I's and Matt's reactions on his channel at Board Matt. But yeah, May the 4th also is generally like that week or that weekend turns into big sales, right, Luke? So
Yeah, that's when we
it's
see
typically
the
been pretty popular.
highest sale numbers of the year are usually around May the 4th. And so to have May the 4th this year land on a Sunday, I've said this the last couple months
Amazing.
in advance, and I think Cam and Mark caught on to that and were like, oh, this is a good opportunity, right, to get a lot of eyeballs on this. And so, I mean, I guess I should just talk about this right now, but like there's a PSA 9 Imperial class Star Destroyer foil, which is already at 3,150, which would be the second highest all time. And that's what, I mean, that was with like 5 days to go. Now there hasn't been any bids since then because I think everybody realized, okay, this is a legit, really high sale. And I expect that number will jump here at the end. We just don't know how high too, but it's a Carillion Corvette foil, PSA 9. I mean, there's a bunch of really, really good stuff up. If you're watching this before May the 4th, take a look at those eBay auctions because I think people are realizing, okay, Sunday, always the biggest auction day of the week. Combine that with May the 4th and the added interest with Andor. Yeah, this is like a perfect storm of eyeballs on the product. And so, yeah, I'll be curious to see what happens.
It's wild. But
the bids are outrageous. There's so many. There's something like
74 bids already on that.
Crazy amount of bids on it.
Destroyer. Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I definitely was going through a little bit of my inventory this week to be like, what do I have in here that I've like didn't need and just haven't listed because I've been lazy or like there's just so many things like to list. I'm like, oh, I got this like Star Wars sketch, some autos, like some other random stuff. I was like, I gotta list this stuff, get some eyeballs out there. I did list a BGS 9 Japanese C3PO, so that is at a buy it now, I think right now, but I think I'm not sure if I left offers on that. I think I did. I don't know, but that is a duplicate for me. So I will have a Han Solo Japanese PSA 9 that will probably put up for sale soon too, but among other things. So that's very exciting. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be looking to see if I can get anything for my Reflections foil set. Maybe there's something interesting that'll pop up through there. Okay, now that we've gotten through all this fluff stuff, I do want to hear JP's quick take on Andor because I know he was very excited about that, and then I want to finish with Luke and the data set. So JP, give us your 2 cents on Andor. Fresh, uncut, uncensored, raw.
By the way, for those of you that are watching this, because it might be later in May that you watch this, right now we're halfway through. So JP, what do you think?
Yes, you've seen episodes 1 through 3 and 4 through 6.
Right, I've seen both weeks because they put out the 3 episodes each week so far. So I was interesting. I wasn't super happy with the previous shows that they had put on with the Accolade, even Boba Fett, the Book of Boba Fett. So
there was Ahsoka, Skeleton Crew, Afterlife.
Yeah, Skeleton Crew too. It was okay. I'm not super happy, but I mean, maybe they did that. Maybe there's a strategy behind it just to promote Andor and Andor 2 series. So I loved it. It feels like Star Wars to me. And so that's one of the things I look for is the look and feel. Instead of going on some bunny trail with people you don't know, planets you're not familiar with, and they take you on some other type of adventure. This is sticking really good, and I know we all know how Andor 2 is going to end pretty soon. So, but it just feels like Star Wars, and I've really enjoyed it. I hope more stories come out that are like this. And I saw some kind of a like a Rotten Tomatoes for Star Wars stuff, and it even exceeds all the movies right now. So it's been the top viewed and the favorite of Star Wars fans at this point. So I'm super happy with it. It's been a great story, and it feels like Star Wars.
Well, you're preaching to the choir. I've certainly been the most excited for this show over some of the other stuff, and even some of the stuff that was Star Wars Celebration Japan was not long ago, right? So you got to see some of the upcoming projects that were coming in. So I'm not sure if any of those really stuck out to you, but I'm still kind of, well, this doesn't top Andor's excitement for me, personally. But you're right about the general feel, tone, size, scope, eye candy, the design, the language, even the music. Even though it's got its own like unique flair, it really hits right. Like I don't know, I really enjoy it. I listen to it in my free time. I think I mentioned this in the other breakdown, but my long story short is the storytelling is excellent. The character development for things like Mon Mothma was like an afterthought of a character in Return of the Jedi. We have like some deep character like evolving here. You know what I mean? Like there's a good story here. So hats off to the whole team that did that, and I can't wait to see the rest of it.
Right. Agreed.
I'm sure Luke has similar summed up thoughts as well. I don't want to speak for you.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, if you want to see more of what Kyle and I think, we've had about 30 to 40 minutes each of the weeks so far. So check out Matt's YouTube video. Board Matt. As someone who likes history, as someone who likes social studies as a teacher, there's a lot of very interesting themes that we keep coming back to that Andor does a great job with. I will be very curious to see what happens the second half of the season.
It's all going to end tragically, but
yeah, well, you know what it is. Yeah. How do we get there? Yeah.
All right, but circling back to graded cards, give us the sales updates, the highlights of where we're at, Luke.
Sure. So, really strong month in terms of overall sales for the month of April. So we had 79 total tracked graded sales. That compares to 80 in March. So right along the same lines, but the average sale, guys, is 20% higher. So it was 124 in April versus 104 in March. The sales volume, so the total overall number is 9,844. That's much higher than both March by about 1,500, and then February was 6,300. So that's a jump of $3,300, $400 or whatever. Last April was higher, but last April also had way more sales. It had double the sales. So, it was 162 a year ago, and right now it's 79, so almost double. But April of last year was $11,000 in sales, and this was 9,000 with half the cards.
Wow.
And so the average sale was 69 in April of last year, and it's 124 now. So yeah, it just seems to show me that there's less sales, but those sales are higher this year. So that I'll continue to monitor and see. I mean, a lot of that might, be due to, I'm going to, say right now, the top sale of April 2025 was a PSA 8 Imperial class Star Destroyer foil for $2,700. This is a private sale where someone reached out to me and provided proof of sale, and absolutely legit. There's also a PSA 6 Imperial class Star Destroyer foil. So there's some pretty high sales during the month of April. As we alluded to earlier in this recording, we have a PSA 9 for the first time ever that Mark has put up for May the 4th. That's landing. And so May obviously will be buoyed by that, but a lot of big sales as well. And that, even the PSA 8 was the fifth highest all-time sale that we've ever recorded at 2,700. And we're definitely topping that already. Like it's already been bid up before that. So strong sales, at least in comparison to recent months. There was for sure a lull at the start of the year. And I think we're ramping up here as people approach May the 4th. Always a pretty heightened time for Star Wars stuff. So that's my update.
There was a long time where Imperial class Star Destroyer just wasn't available to buy.
There's still very few. There might be less than 10 sales total ever that we have of a Star Wars Imperial class Star Destroyer foil graded. So they're premium, and to see a PSA 9, there's the pop is pop 4 on that PSA 9. There's 0 pop 10. So this is the highest possible card I can imagine that would ever go on sale. And so this is going to be the new benchmark, unless. Yeah, I mean, the previous record holder, JP knows, is a BGS 9.5 Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight foil. There's all quad 9.5s, like really epically,
It's got 210 subgrades.
210, sorry, yeah, 210.
Yeah.
I mean, amazing card. So
yeah,
maybe something like that competes with it, but like I will be very curious to see where this one lands.
Agreed. And there's so much. I mean, the card's a foil. There's so many things
Foil's
against it.
so hard.
It's an edge card too.
Yeah.
It sits on the edge of the sheet.
The corner of the sheet. It's really difficult to grade. Yeah.
That's wild.
There's so much against it to get a 9. That it's almost like saying it's PSA 11. So
yeah,
it's crazy.
PSA 11. Well, they did update. So PSA did update their standards in terms of their centering. They did send out like a PSA on how they were going to be more strict on the grading for 10s regarding centering, because I think there were some people venting about that. So I don't know how that's had an influence on other things across the board, because a lot of people, that 9 and 10 difference is so significant. But we've seen our fair share of 10s that are like, that's not quite centered.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like maybe that shouldn't have been a 10, but no one's going to crack that, you know? So I don't know if you felt anything like that, JP, or heard anything. I almost find it weird that I haven't heard any pushback or, you know, complaints or complaining about
right.
it.
Well, there are discussions going around that people are really starting to look at the cards inside the slabs. Before it was like, you know, we're doing the reveals and all of the cards are face down. You flip it up and that's a 9, that's a 10, that's a 9, that's a 7. Wonder why. We don't ever really take a real close look back at the cards that are 9s or 10s and say, you know, is that really a 9 or 10? We just go by the labels, kick it aside, put it in our sets. But I'm seeing more and more discussions of people taking closer looks at the cards people are showcasing in the group and going, man, look at all the chipping. Why did that get a 9? You know, look at the centering. And we all know, you know, Premier is just so hard to get. So if you get an 8 or a 9, that's really good. And we know why. But people are getting more critical, and they're taking a look at the card closer than just reading the label off the slab. So the group is really developing and really evolving into that scholar level of grading now with the hardest, probably, you know, CCG cards, TCG, to grade in the industry.
Yeah, and I remember Mark, I think, discussing this on some like in Magic. I think some of the highest end cards, right? Like they almost don't want to look at the they want to see the card itself and really examine it and like verify that like it's where it should be, and they might, you know, not get it if that even if the grade is good, but if the card's like not quite up to their standard of like where it would be, then it doesn't matter. I didn't know that was actually going to happen with Star Wars CCG cards, but I have to imagine for higher profile cards like the Jedi Knight and ICSD, like, yeah, you probably want to get a good looking one, you know, that doesn't just have the label, because people want to see that. But I don't know. It's very interesting. It's all very interesting.
I will add a note that, you know, I have that, you know, the Jedi Knight in my possession, and I take it out once in a while. And for me, all of my graded cards are also in another, you know, sleeve, another, you know, graded card piece of plastic, and sometimes 2. Well, whoever had this card before me, they must have thrown it around a lot. There are scratches on the slab itself, and you know, kind of tempted to like send it back for a reholster. I want to, you know, get it reslabbed, provided that they don't regrade it. I just want, you know, just the card put into a cleaner slab.
That can be expensive though, right? I did that once for Jamie for like a Pokemon card. It was like stupid expensive.
Yeah.
I'm like, this would have been better just regrade it, but they let it, I don't know. Yeah. Like I have that, I don't know. It was more than grading it for sure. I don't know why.
But it is BGS. BGS is kind of fair on some of those things.
For reholstering?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So that's good to hear.
I just hate to send it out in the mail and it leave, you know, my house, where I have it locked up.
Well, if you find yourself in the neighborhood of where submissions are, maybe that's a different story.
Yeah, it's interesting. I never thought that the group and the industry would go in this direction. It's surpassed all my expectations when we created the group, when we started doing this, and you know, it's just been a fantastic hobby, and it's been great meeting all the people and talking to people and showcasing. So I really appreciate everybody and what the group's done. So thank you.
Well, I think we'll leave it at that. I think that's enough said. So thank you, Luke. Thank you, JP. And we will see you on the next update next month. I look forward to May the 4th, and we will have plenty to chat about next month.
Thanks, Kyle. Thanks, Luke.
Yeah.